What if I told you that the Bible warns us about something so subtle, so woven into the fabric of everyday life, that most people won't even realize they're in danger until it's too late? What if the normal routines you trust, the systems you depend on, the choices you make every single day are quietly becoming a trap prophesied thousands of years ago? And what if you are living through this right now, in this moment, without even knowing it? The ancient prophets saw something coming. Something that wouldn't announce itself with thunder or fire, but would creep in silently, disguised as progress, convenience, and safety. They called it the last days, and they warned us that normal life itself would become the most dangerous place to be. This isn't a story about the past. This is about today. This is about you. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might change everything. For centuries, theologians and scholars have wrestled with one of the Bible's most unsettling prophecies. It's found scattered across the pages of Daniel, Matthew, Revelation, and the letters of Paul. And it all points to the same chilling reality, that in the final chapter of human history, the ordinary world, the one we navigate every day, will become a spiritual battlefield. Jesus himself spoke these words in Matthew 20, verse 12. Because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. Not some, not a few, many. He was describing a world where normalcy itself would be infected, where the everyday rhythms of life would become spiritually toxic. The Apostle Paul echoed this in 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. He said, "In the last days, perilous times will come, for men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power." Read that again. This isn't describing a world at war. It's describing a world that looks functional, a world where people go to work, raise families, pursue success. But underneath, something has shifted. The foundation has cracked. And what was once safe is now spiritually deadly. But here's the mystery. Scholars have debated for generations. How can normal life become dangerous? How can the routines we've always known, eating, drinking, working, buying, selling, turn into spiritual quicksand? The answer is hidden in plain sight, and it's unfolding right now. Let's go deeper. Because the Bible doesn't just warn us that life will become dangerous, it tells us exactly how. In the book of Revelation, chapter 13, we see a vision of two beasts rising, one from the sea, one from the earth. And together, they create a system, a global structure that controls commerce, identity, and allegiance. Verse 17 says this, "No one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Now, for centuries, people have fixated on the word mark. They've debated whether it's a literal brand, a microchip, a tattoo, but they've missed something far more profound. The mark isn't just about technology, it's about allegiance. It's about who you worship. It's about whose system you trust. The mark represents a choice, a daily, seemingly innocent choice, to participate, to comply, to trade your freedom, your faith, your conscience for convenience, for survival, for acceptance, and here's where it gets dangerous. The Bible says this system will feel normal. It will be woven into the fabric of everyday life so seamlessly that resisting it will feel insane. You'll be told it's for the greater good, for safety, for unity, for progress. Jesus warned about this in Luke chapter 17, verses 26 through 30. He said, "As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be in the days of the Son of Man. They ate, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage, until the day Noah entered the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise, as it was in the days of Lot, they ate, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they built. But on the day Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all." Do you see it? Normal life, eating, drinking, buying, selling, marrying, building, nothing evil on the surface. But underneath, a spiritual disconnect so complete that judgment arrived without warning. This is the danger the prophets saw. Not that life would become obviously wicked, but that it would become so normalized in its godlessness that people wouldn't even notice they were lost. Imagine you're in a house, and there's a slow gas leak. You can't see it. You can't smell it at least not at first. Everything looks fine. You go about your day. You cook dinner. You watch TV. You go to bed. But while you sleep, the invisible toxin is filling every room, and by the time you realize something's wrong, it's too late to escape. That's what the Bible is warning us about. The danger isn't loud. It's not violent. It's not dramatic. It's subtle. It's systemic. It's the air we breathe. Or think about it this way. Imagine you're at a family reunion, and everyone's eating from the same buffet. The food looks delicious. It smells amazing. Everyone's having a great time. But what no one knows is that the food has been slowly poisoned. Not enough to kill you instantly, just enough to weaken you. To make you sick over time, to dull your senses, to rob you of your strength. By the time people start collapsing, it's too late to warn them. Because they trusted the system. They trusted the normalcy. They never questioned what they were consuming. This is what the prophets saw. A world where the systems we depend on, the economy, the culture, the technology, the government, boom, spiritually poisoned. And because they look normal, because they function efficiently, because everyone else is participating, we never stop to ask, what is this costing my soul? Paul warned the Ephesians about this in chapter 5, verse 16. Redeem the time, because the days are evil, not will be evil. Are evil? Present tense. The danger is already here. It's just disguised as normalcy. And here's the terrifying part. The Bible says that most people won't see it. Most people will be swept along by the current. They'll trust the voices of authority. They'll follow the crowd. They'll choose comfort over conviction. And they'll never realize they've traded their eternal destiny for temporary security. So let me ask you something. Right now, in this moment, what systems are you trusting? What voices are you listening to? What routines have you adopted without questioning them? Because the Bible is clear. In the last days, there will be two groups of people, those who bear the seal of God and those who bear the mark of the beast, and the difference between them won't be obvious at first. It won't be a visible tattoo or a dramatic choice. It will be a slow, incremental bending of the knee. Revelation 14. Verse 1 shows us one group. Then I looked, and behold, a Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000. Having his Father's name written on their foreheads, these are the ones who refuse to conform, who refused to trade their faith for convenience, who stood firm even when normalcy demanded compromise. But the rest of the chapter shows us the other group. Verse 9 through 11, if anyone worships the beast and his image, and receives his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God. This is the stakes. This is the tension. And it's not happening in some distant future. It's happening now. Every day, you're making choices. Choices about what you value, what you prioritize, what you worship, and the Bible is screaming a warning. Don't be lulled to sleep by normalcy. Don't let the world define what's safe, because the systems of this world are designed to pull you away from God. And they'll do it so gradually, so subtly, that you won't even feel it happening. So here's the revelation. Here's the answer to the question we started with. Why does the Bible warn us that normal life is becoming dangerous? Because normal life in the last days is designed to make you forget God. It's designed to keep you so busy, so distracted, so dependent on the world's systems, that you never stop to ask the most important question: who do I belong to? The seal of God isn't just a theological concept, it's a mark of allegiance. It's a declaration of identity. It's a promise that no matter what the world demands, no matter what systems rise or fall, you belong to Him. Revelation 7, verses 2 through 3, describes it beautifully. Then I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was granted to harm the earth and the sea, saying, Do not harm the earth, the sea, or the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God on their foreheads. This seal is protection. It's a divine stamp that says, This one is mine. And it's given to those who choose to live differently, to those who refuse to let normalcy define their faith in the middle of a world that's buying and selling, eating and drinking, working and playing. These are the ones who remember, who worship, who pray, who hold fast to the Word of God, even when it costs them everything. And here's the glorious truth. They're not just surviving, They're standing on Mount Zion. They're singing a new song. They're redeemed. They're victorious because they chose the Lamb over the beast. They chose eternity over convenience. They chose God over the world. This is the payoff. This is the hope. That even in the midst of a dangerous world, even when normal life becomes a spiritual trap, there is a way to stand firm. There is a way to be sealed. There is a way to overcome. So what does this mean for you? Today, right now, it means you have to wake up. You have to look at your life with fresh eyes. You have to ask yourself, am I living by faith or by the world's definition of normalcy? Are you so caught up in the routines of life, job, the bills, the entertainment, the social media, the constant noise of that, you've forgotten to listen for God's voice? Are you trusting in systems that promise you security but demand your soul in return? Or are you choosing to live differently, to seek first the kingdom of God, to set your affections on things above, not on things of the earth? The Bible doesn't call us to be paranoid. It calls us to be awake, to be discerning, to be faithful, to recognize that every choice we make is a choice of allegiance. Every routine we adopt is either drawing us closer to God or pulling us further away. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to do this alone. God has sealed His people. He has given us His Spirit. He has promised to guide us, to protect us, to hold us firm, even when the world around us is crumbling. But it requires something from you. It requires courage. It requires faith. It requires a willingness to stand apart from the crowd, to live as a stranger in a world that's no longer your home. The prophets saw this day coming, and they left us a roadmap, a warning, and a promise. The warning is clear. Normal life in the last days is a trap. The promise is even clearer. God will seal His people. He will stand with them. He will bring them through, and you, yes, you are part of this story. You're living in the chapter the prophets wrote about, and the question is, will you wake up? Will you choose the seal of God over the mark of the world? Because the time is coming when that choice will cost you everything. But it will also be the choice that saves your soul. If this message stirred something in you, if you felt the weight of this truth, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, reflect on it, and stay close to this channel because we're going deeper. We're uncovering the mysteries that matter most. The days are evil, but God is faithful, and His people will stand.